this newfound connection of hearing the voices and trying to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. How is it going to affect your relationship, the sibling relationship? I mean, it was a little strained before taking the trip. Now all of this has happened. He's getting back his life. Michaela's lost it so much.
I think so Ben and Michaela have a really beautiful relationship, as any brother and sister do. They fight, they love each other, and on taking off and going on this trip, Michaela was in a really tough spot, and Ben was trying to be the strong older brother. Ben had his life together. He had the perfect family, the perfect job, everything. Michaela was on the opposite end of the spectrum. She was going through a lot, not questioning pretty much everything in her life, and so they started butting heads a little bit over what she should do to move forward. Her family's telling her to marry Jared, and she's not feeling worthy of that. And so it wasn't so much tension, rather than just like her family knew it was best for her and she wasn't listening. And then in landing, Ben and Michaela are very opposite. Ben is a very logical, fact-based, science-based kind of guy. Michaela likes to be a bit more gray. She leans towards the unknown. She goes with the flow. And so with this mystery hanging over their head, she's leaning back towards the spiritual aspect of what could or couldn't have happened with them. And Ben's trying to take the logical approach. So they're going to butt heads on that. But what the good thing is they're going to balance each other out in that way as well. So we're going to see episodes where they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. He's saying, walk away from this. And she's saying, let's dive into this. And then they're going to flip-flop. She's going to be like, I can't do this anymore. And he's going to be like, no, we got to figure this out. But at the end of the day, what's really, really awesome about Ben and Michaela is they'll always have each other's backs. They'll always balance each other out. And they are there for each other at the end of the day.
That relationship was so strong. It reminds me a lot of my brother and me. And you guys portray it like really beautifully. And was that rapport with Josh like just right away? So it was easy for you to develop this relationship?
Jared. Josh and I met at one of the auditions, and we had to read together, and he's such an awesome guy that it just felt so comfortable and so natural to do the scene with him, and we have a lot of similarities as human beings, and so it was just easy to connect with him, and that really hasn't gone away. The more I've gotten to know him, the easier it's been. He really has become my older brother in real life. He's had earfuls of everything, and I've asked him for advice, and
he seems like he's a person.
He's an awesome human being, so I'm really lucky to have him as my dad on the show. Yeah.
She's going to explore this connection with the other passengers.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Say the question again.
Yeah, she's going to explore this voice, this connection with the other passengers.
Yeah, so what's cool is by the end of the first episode, we see that it's not just Ben and Michaela hearing these things, and we see this group of people around the plane. And over the course of the season, we realize that they're going to have to use each other, and their paths are going to cross multiple times to figure out what's going on with them. It's not going to appear to everyone in the exact same way. It's going to look different for everyone. Like some of the callings Ben has, I don't have, and some of the callings that I have, he doesn't have. So really it's just like this big puzzle that we all have to use each other to make complete.
Can you tell me about the audition process for the show? Like when you got the script and how many auditions you have to go for, like what attracted you?
It's actually funny. This was weirdly the easiest process that I've ever had in getting a role, but I was attached to another show, and when you have that contract, you're not supposed to do pilot seasons. Somehow I snuck into the audition, but I was only in town for like a day. I had just moved down to LA, and I was kind of scattered, and I got this audition. I hadn't read it, and I was like, I don't think I can go. I might turn it down. I'm really tired. And then I got home and I read the audition. I was like, there's no way I'm turning this down. It was such a unique script. I had never seen a show like this that grabbed me the way that it did, with the mystery on top, with the mystery on one side and just the really complex characters on another side. So I chose to go to the audition. I met Jeff and Jackie, two of the producers, and then a week later they screen tested me with Josh, and that was it.
Are you nervous when you screen test? Because you're so close to really getting the part, and it's like it could be game changing. It's a life changing. How's your mind frame during that time?
I am the bridesmaid, never the bride. So I have screen tested for so many things and never gotten them that by this point I was like, I'm not gonna get it. It's fine. On top of the fact that I was still attached to another show, so even that I was like, whoever gets this is gonna be so lucky, but it's not gonna be me because one, I never get it. I'm that person, and two, I like contractually obligated to something else. But thankfully, stars aligned, and here I am. So I'm really lucky.
Do you have anything about J.R. Ramirez that nobody knows about? Any dirt on him?
Ooh, I like this question. He's obsessed with his dog. Obsessed with his dog. And it's a really cute dog, so I can't blame him, but he's obsessed. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I probably have better ones too, so ask me again. But for right now, I'll leave it at that.
Is it hard playing the role when you don't know what's happening?
Yes and no. I'm kind of glad that I don't know everything that's happening because Michaela doesn't know what's happening, so I can kind of use it in that way. I don't think any of the passengers really know what's going on, and they're trying to figure it out. So like whenever we get a new episode, we get to find out a little bit more, and it feels like we're going through what the character is going through. So yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the relationship with Jared and your character's best friend? What's going to happen with that? Can you?
So Jared and Michaela, I love them. They're really good. They were good together. They really respected each other. Jared was Michaela's rock. With everything that she had gone through, with the car accident, with just life in general, being the second child, being in Ben's shadow, not feeling good enough for her job, he really was her grounding factor. And so we are kind of left with this proposal that's hanging in the air. And what I love is that it's not that she's deciding whether or not she wants to be with him. She wants to be with him. She's deciding whether or not she's worthy to be with him because he does have his ducks in a row and she doesn't. And so in coming back, her struggle is figuring out what is selfish versus selfless in terms of letting him move on with his life. He's found a new marriage, and he's found comfort in Lourdes, and they've created a life together. And she loves him so much that her question is, should she try and fight for him, or does he deserve to just have his own life now? And with Lourdes too, we see a scene in episode 2 where she gives her friend permission to continue and her blessing in this marriage. And I think that's her saying to the two people that she loves most in the world, you deserve better, and here you go. So it's really sad. I don't like it, but
what she did was pretty selfless.
Yeah.
With Lourdes.
Yeah.
Saying I wasn't going to.
Oh yeah, I don't think I would do that.
Right.
I'd be like, hell no.
Kind of lied in order to let her friend have a happy life.
Yeah, and I mean the struggle's not over. The love is there between all three of them, and it stays complicated. More stuff happens, and it teeters back and forth. But as of right now, she's choosing to let those two people be. So.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about this shadowy figure?
So with the supernatural element of the show, Jeff does an amazing job of constantly teasing what's from this mystery versus what's from the world, and we're just being confused. And with the shadowy figure, we get to find out in episode 3. The mystery of that gets solved pretty quick. I won't say which way it goes, but you'll be surprised. That's a horrible answer, but that's as much as I can say.
But it tells us to get to episode 3, and
it's
interesting that that's gonna get answered.
Well, I think what Jeff wants to do is keep everyone on the edge of their seats in the way of like, there are mysteries that have nothing to do with the plane, and there are mysteries that have to do with the plane, and he wants you to be constantly guessing which one is which.
We're going to also see some more flashbacks, and
so with this whole car accident, we're not totally sure what's happened, but it's really shaped Michaela. We get to see what happens in that situation in episode 3. So,
with the way the technology is going, TV is going, do you, as an actress, what attracts you? Is it more TV? Is it film? Does that even matter?
It doesn't matter so long as the story is good. So long as I feel like it's a story worth telling and it's told well. then I'm attracted to it, which is why I really, really like this show. Whether it appears in film or TV, I couldn't care less. But on this show specifically, I've gotten to work with phenomenal actors and an amazing showrunner/writer. So I feel very blessed.
Are you improvising lines at all, or is it just totally by the script?
You know, with all of the moving pieces of the show, we've had to stay on script pretty specifically. I stray every now and then just because I'll forget things a lot, but for the most part, they've done such a good job writing that we try and stay true to that.
Well, do you have a special strategy to memorize your lines? Do you study it nonstop, or you just have a photographic memory?
I have a very good short-term memory, so I can remember it for the day, and then whoosh, it's gone. But no, for the most part, I'm pretty good at memorizing. But when you're doing 6 scenes a day, by the end of it, you're like, I forget. So, yeah.
Are there any big scenes you're excited for, the new animation?
There's a scene, well, actually in episode 9, I think we're in episode 9. So we've just started episode 9. There's some really, really good stuff. I know it's a long way away, but it's so good. It's so good. Things really kind of come to a climax at that episode. So.
Do you feel you relate to your character?
Completely, yeah. When I read Michaela, it was really cool. You get characters that you'll have to study and do research on and figure out. Michaela was really easy for me just because she's a character of lapsed faith. She was raised very religiously, and she's kind of the screw up of the family. I can relate to that. I was raised by a pastor, and I'm a middle child, and so I've had my own journey of figuring that kind of stuff out. But she keeps putting one foot in front of the other, so she's like the version of me that's super strong, and I love that.